Deep space was calm. Too calm. A giant blue star burned at the center of the system. Around it circled 13 alien warships. Their shapes were sharp, cold, and deadly, like metal sharks waiting for prey. Their engines glowed red. Their weapons were armed. But the alien commanders were relaxed. Why? Because today they expected nothing dangerous. Then their long-range scanners found something. A small dot, a weak signal, a slow movement, an old human ship. It drifted toward them like a dying bird. The surface was black and broken. Its engines flickered like a candle in the wind. It looked like it had been in 100 battles and lost everyone. The aliens laughed the moment they saw it. Humans? One lizard-like officer said, his voice full of mockery. They survived this long? Another alien with 4 glowing eyes spoke. Impossible. Humans went extinct 300 years ago. Everyone knows that. For centuries, alien empires mocked Earth. They called humans weak, slow, stupid, easy to destroy, and in the end, they burned Earth until it was nothing but smoke. So when they saw a single damaged human ship drifting alone, they did not feel fear. They felt amusement. Maybe it is a relic, one alien joked. Maybe we should place it in a museum. But the humor faded slowly, because the human ship did not send messages. It did not show life signs. It did not respond to scans. It did not behave like a normal ship. It was simply silent. Too silent. The alien commander, a tall armored creature named Vekor, stood at the bridge window. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed confusion. "Why does a dead ship fly into our system?" he asked. No one answered. The scanners beeped again, but the data made no sense. No crew detected. No energy detected. No AI detected. No heat detected. It was as if the ship wasn't even alive. One nervous alien scientist spoke. "Commander, it almost looks like the ship is being carried by space itself." Vekor frowned. Ships do not move without engines. But this one did. The human ship drifted closer, slow but steady, like something ancient returning from a long sleep. Inside the alien ships, soldiers and officers gathered near windows. They whispered among themselves. "Why is it moving? Maybe a trap?" No, humans never had this kind of technology. A chill spread through the fleet. Still, they laughed to hide their fear. "They were weak," said an insectoid captain. "They begged for mercy when their world burned. They cried like children," another added. But their words felt heavy, almost forced, because something in that silent ship felt wrong. Something old, something powerful, something sleeping, but ready to wake. Suddenly, the star above them flickered, only for 1 second, but everyone felt it. A cold wave passed through the system, brushing against every ship, every creature, every mind. What was that? Solar disturbance? No. That felt like something else, something alive. Inside the silent human ship, deep in its dark core, a faint golden light began to glow. Soft at first, then brighter, like an eye opening. The alien scientists panicked. "Commander, new reading. Energy rising inside the human ship." "No, not energy. Something unknown." Vekor leaned forward. "Unknown? Explain." "We cannot. Our systems do not recognize it." The golden light grew stronger. Then, across all alien ships, a sound echoed. Not a message. Not a signal. A whisper. Soft, cold, human. "We have returned." Every alien froze. The laughter died instantly. The smiles faded. Fear replaced everything else. The whisper repeated, louder this time. "For centuries, you mocked us." Red alarms flashed across the warships. "We are detecting a pulse," cried a technician. "Impact in 3 seconds. Shields up. Prepare counter." But it was already too late. The silent human ship released no weapon, no missile, no laser, simply breathed, and the entire system changed. Every alien screen turned black. Engines stopped. Weapons deactivated. Communications died. Lights dimmed. Even the blue star's surface grew quieter, as if something stole its voice. All 13 alien warships went dark. Only one thing in the system still glowed: the human ship. 2 bright white lights formed at its bow, like eyes opening after centuries of sleep. Vicor's hearts pounded in terror. "This cannot be human," he whispered. Another alien officer shook with fear. "What are they? What have they become?" The whisper returned, now colder than space. "Your time ends where ours begins." The human ship stopped moving. The stars around it turned silent. Even space felt like it held its breath. Humanity had returned, and the galaxy finally understood the truth. When humans returned, the stars themselves went silent. 300 years ago, humanity was almost gone. Earth had fallen, burned by alien fleets that mocked its people. Entire cities were erased, oceans poisoned, skies turned gray. Survivors had vanished. No one believed humans could rise again. They were a story, a warning whispered across the galaxy. Yet now humans were back. The silent ship drifted through the dark system like a shadow of legend. It moved with quiet purpose, and though it seemed old and damaged, it carried power beyond imagination. Inside the ship, the corridors were dim, but alive. Tiny lights flickered along the walls. Machines hummed softly, but these were not ordinary machines. They were old, centuries-old human technology, upgraded, enhanced, evolved. Each panel of metal and glass held memories. Memories of battles fought and civilizations built. Captain Mira Hale stood on the bridge. She had the calm presence of someone who had survived centuries of war. Her eyes scanned the starfield ahead. Her uniform was torn and patched, yet she wore it with pride. She was humanity's ghost returned. Not to beg, not to surrender, but to reclaim. Her voice broke the silence. "Prepare the systems. We are close to our first target." Her crew, a mixture of humans who had survived on distant colonies and advanced AI companions, moved efficiently. They did not need orders for long. Every human aboard understood one thing: survival, cunning, and the power to strike when least expected. Meanwhile, on the outer edge of the system, alien fleets scrambled. Word of the silent human ship spread faster than light-speed communication. Entire alien civilizations whispered the same question: how is this possible? They had studied humans for centuries. Their records were clear: weak, unpredictable, and ultimately expendable. Yet here they were, back in the galaxy, and stronger than anyone had imagined. In the command ship of the Scaled Empire, Admiral Kryth watched the approaching human ship. His multiple eyes widened in fear. "They should be dead," he said, his voice shaking. "They are dead," a subordinate replied, trembling. "No," Kryth said, his claws gripping the edge of the console. "They are something else. Something we do not understand." Back on the human ship, Mira Hale touched the control panel. Her fingers traced an old emblem, Earth's symbol, worn but unbroken. She whispered, almost to herself, "We were gone, but not gone enough. Now the galaxy will remember us." Sensors detected alien communications, frantic warnings being sent across the system. They tried to track the humans, but the technology failed. Not a single signal could penetrate the ship's defenses. It was as if it existed outside normal space, moving quietly, like a shadow in the void. The aliens, confident in their past victories, underestimated the humans once again. They sent a small strike fleet to intercept. 7 ships, heavily armed, fast, ruthless. The humans did not fire at first. They did not need to. As the alien fleet approached, the void around them seemed to ripple. Time slowed near the human ship. Engines groaned as though the laws of physics had changed. Space bent, stars twisted, and one by one, alien sensors failed. What is happening?" cried Admiral Kryth. "They are warping reality," his officer stammered. "That's impossible," Kryth said. "But it's happening." The alien fleet never reached the humans. They simply disappeared, not destroyed in an explosion, not torn apart, but erased, swallowed by a force they could not see or fight. The remaining aliens panicked, unsure if they faced technology, magic, or something else entirely. Mira Hale did not celebrate. She remained calm, thoughtful. Humanity was not back to kill for fun. They were back to survive, to reclaim, to remind the galaxy of their presence. The galaxy had mocked them for centuries. Now it would pay attention. On distant worlds, human colonies, long hidden, received signals from the silent ship. Survivors awoke from hiding. Families reunited across planets separated by light years. Humanity was not only back, it was growing, uniting, evolving. Even alien historians could not deny the truth. Their records were clear. Humans had been weak. But history was now irrelevant. Humans were no longer the same species. They had learned, adapted, and evolved in ways that defied alien understanding. Back on the human ship, Mira Hale looked at the approaching star system, her voice steady. Prepare for contact. Let them see what humanity has become. The silent human ship moved forward, slowly, deliberately, like a predator returning to claim its territory. Stars that once shone bright seemed to dim before it. Planets trembled. Entire alien civilizations felt a shiver of fear. Not from human weapons, but from the knowledge that the humans had returned, stronger, smarter, and unbroken. And in that quiet, in the dark corridors of the ship, the golden light pulsed again. A heartbeat of a species that had survived everything the galaxy threw at it. The first strike would not be destruction. It would be revelation. The galaxy had mocked humanity for centuries. And now humanity was back. Not to beg, not to surrender, not to hide, but to be remembered. And the stars themselves would listen. The galaxy was changing. Started slowly. At first, alien fleets reported strange malfunctions. Weapons misfired. Engines stopped. Communication signals vanished mid-transmission. Entire star systems seemed quieter. The Scaled Empire, the Insectoid Coalition, and the Crystal Hegemony, the three most powerful alien civilizations, scrambled to understand. Their fleets searched the edges of known space, trying to find the source of the disturbances. And then the truth began to spread like wildfire. Humans had returned. Not as before. Not weak, disorganized, or scattered. Something had changed. Something no alien technology could predict. Something the galaxy could not measure. In the outer rim of the Perseus sector, Admiral KRYTH's fleet hovered near a bright nebula. Normally, it would be alive with sensors with distant signals from patrol ships. But now the entire region felt dead. No signals, KRYTH asked, his voice trembling. All systems down, said his communications officer. But the sensors say, nothing, another officer whispered. Not even the nebula's radiation is normal, the scientist added, eyes wide. It was as if the galaxy itself was holding its breath. Across hundreds of light years, similar reports came in. Star systems were silent. Fleets vanished without trace. Stations went dark. Planets turned cold as if some invisible hand had paused time itself. The aliens panicked. It cannot be humans, said a Crystal Hegemony commander. His crystalline body shivered with fear. They are too small, too weak. Do not underestimate them, warned another officer. They survived 3 centuries of destruction. They are patient and cunning. Back on the human ship, Mira Hale and her crew watched the galaxy unfold like a map. They did not celebrate each disappearance. There was no joy in fear, but there was power, control. Every fleet that tries to challenge us disappears, said Hale softly. Yes, Captain, replied her first officer. But we are not here to destroy. We are here to remind them. And remind them they did. In one quiet system, a small alien mining fleet approached a remote human colony. The aliens believed humans could not exist here. They were wrong. As they closed in, their sensors went dark. Engines shut down. Communication stopped. Within moments, the fleet was gone, erased as if it had never existed. Back at the Galactic Council, panic erupted. The humans, they are returning, a senator said, voice shaking. Return? No, this is not a return. This is evolution. They have adapted beyond anything we understand, whispered another. We studied them for centuries. We thought we knew them. We were wrong. The council called for emergency meetings. Entire civilizations debated strategy. They debated war. They debated diplomacy. They debated retreat. But the humans did not act with aggression. Not yet. The silent human ship drifted from system to system, like a shadow, observing, measuring, learning. The galaxy could not detect it, could not track it, could not challenge it. And then whispers began in alien cities. Do you feel it? The stars, they are silent. Something is different. Humans have returned, but not as we knew them. Even the stars seemed to obey. Light flickered strangely around the ship. Nebulae glowed softly in patterns no astronomer had ever recorded. Time itself felt distorted near human activity. The aliens realized a horrifying truth. Humans had evolved beyond weapons, fleets, or diplomacy. Humans had evolved beyond understanding. Back on the ship, Mira Hale looked at the blinking maps, showing systems where humans had never been, and yet they were silent witnesses to humanity's return. Do not fear, she said quietly. We are not here to destroy. Yet. Her words were calm, but their meaning was clear. The galaxy's empires had mocked humans for centuries. They had underestimated a species they thought was weak, fleeting, and forgettable. Now humans were back, not with war cries, not with fleets of fire, but with quiet power, patience, and precision. And as alien fleets scrambled, as stations failed, as stars dimmed in unease, one thought spread across the galaxy. Humanity is no longer the species you knew. Every fleet that tried to challenge them vanished. Every communication attempted failed. Every star system trembled silently before the unknown presence. The silent stars, the galaxy had begun to call them that, because wherever humans appeared, silence followed. Not death, not destruction, silence. And with that silence came fear. For 300 years, aliens had mocked Earth. For 300 years, they believed humans were gone. But now, humanity was back. And the galaxy understood something terrifying. They were no longer a species to mock. The galaxy waited. Alien fleets watched the borders of known space with fear. Entire civilizations held their breath. And the humans moved silently, like shadows between the stars. Admiral Kryth of the Scaled Empire could no longer hide his fear. His fleet had grown desperate. Fleets from neighboring systems gathered, trying to find the mysterious human ship that had erased entire squadrons without a shot. They are ghosts, one officer whispered, trembling. Ghosts do not exist, Kryth snapped. But something kills without touching, the officer added. The human ship appeared again, just beyond the edge of the Kether Nebula. It looked small, weak, even broken, but it was impossible to underestimate. Prepare the fleet, Kryth ordered. Fire everything. Stop that ship before it reaches the inner systems. 7 alien warships charged toward the human ship, weapons glowing, engines screaming. Missiles lined up. Lasers warmed. Shields were active. On the human ship, Captain Mira Hale stood calm. She didn't panic. She didn't shout. She touched a glowing control panel, her hand lingering over the symbol of Earth. Target approaching, her first officer said. They do not know we are waiting, Mira replied softly. Let them come. The alien ships fired first. A barrage of energy beams and missiles streaked through the void. Nothing hit. The beams bent. The missiles slowed mid-space, hanging like droplets of water, then vanished. The human ship did not move. It did not dodge. It did not fire a weapon. The aliens could not understand. Their technology screamed failure. Their crews panicked. Impossible, cried one officer. Our weapons. They are failing. They are not failing, Kryth said, voice low. They are being stopped. The space around the human ship began to warp. Time slowed. Light twisted. The edges of alien ships shimmered like heat in a desert. The first warship shuddered. Its engines groaned. The shields flickered, and then it disappeared. Not exploded, not torn apart, simply gone, as if the universe had swallowed it. The second ship tried to escape, but the same happened. The third. Within minutes, all 7 alien ships vanished. KRYTH froze. Report. What is happening? Admiral, they are erasing us, a technician stammered. Erasing, KRYTH repeated, his claws trembling. On the bridge of the human ship, Mira Hale watched the sensors. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. They tried to fight, and they failed. Let this be the lesson. No alarms, no cheers, no celebration. Only quiet. The galaxy had begun to understand the power of humanity. Back in the alien command fleets, fear spread faster than any weapon. Messages were sent across light years. Fleets vanish. Entire systems go dark. Communications fail. Scientists, scholars, and soldiers all ask the same question. What are humans now? The human ship moved again, silent as before. Its white lights glowed like distant stars. It did not chase. It did not attack. Simply was. And the galaxy realized that humans had changed. They were no longer a species limited by technology or numbers. They had become something else. A force that obeyed no rules the aliens understood. Admiral KRYTH watched helplessly as the last reports came in. Entire fleets, dozens of ships, all gone. His empire's pride shattered. His confidence evaporated. All that remained was fear. In the corridors of the human ship, Mira Hale whispered to her first officer. They are learning. They will remember. And when they meet us again, they will not mock humanity. The galaxy's empires were silent. Even stars seemed dimmer near the human ship, as if the universe itself acknowledged a new power had awakened. The first strike was not violence. It was revelation. The humans had returned. They had shown the galaxy what they could do, and the galaxy was terrified. And in that silence, the humans continued their journey. Patient, calm, unbroken, ready for the next step in reclaiming what had once been theirs. Because one truth had become clear to every corner of the stars. Humanity does not fight like others. Humanity does not retreat. Humanity survives. And the universe obeys. The Galactic Council had not seen fear like this in centuries. The chamber floated above a massive blue giant, high in orbit. Thousands of ships watched from below. Representatives of every major alien empire. Scaled, crystalline, insectoid, and more crowded into the chamber. Their voices echoed with worry, anger, and confusion. Reports came in from the outer systems. Fleets had vanished. Entire sectors went silent. Alien colonies reported strange distortions in space. Communications failed. Even light and energy behaved oddly near the returning human ships. And all of it traced back to one source, humanity. The council chamber fell silent as the latest reports scrolled across the massive holoscreen. The humans were not attacking. Not yet. They were observing, moving, and erasing alien forces without a single direct shot. Senator Tilcraw, a tall, crystalline being, banged his fist on the podium. "This is impossible," he shouted. "They are a species we studied for centuries. Weak, fragile, easy to destroy. Clearly we were wrong," a scaled empire representative said, his claws shaking. "They have returned, and they are beyond our understanding." A collective murmur spread through the chamber. The council had always feared war, political struggles, disputes over borders, minor skirmishes. But this was different. This was something no one could fight. "Captain," said a holographic voice from the central console. "All fleets attempting interception vanished. We cannot explain it." Mira Hale's name echoed in whispers across the council. Humans had a leader. They had strategy. They had power that no sensors could detect. A long-standing council historian spoke up, voice trembling. "Humans have always been unpredictable. Their courage, their creativity, their ability to survive against impossible odds. We dismissed it for centuries, thinking they were extinct. But what if they evolved? The room went silent again. Every council member understood the implication. If humans had evolved beyond technology, beyond fleets, beyond ordinary defenses, then the galaxy was vulnerable. The chair of the council, a massive insectoid elder, slammed his mandibles together. Enough speculation. We need action. But what action? Whispered a nearby advisor. Our weapons fail. Our fleets vanish. We cannot even communicate with them. Tilcra turned to the elder. We cannot attack humans. Not directly. They are different. Too powerful. Then what do we do? Asked another representative. Negotiate? Someone dared. Negotiate with ghosts? Tilcra snapped. They do not respond to reason. They do not fight like us. They survive, and we are the weak ones. Panic spread. Discussions became arguments. Proposals flew. Trap the humans, destroy their colonies, cut communication across light years. Each plan failed before it even started. Every strategy seemed irrelevant. And then, a new report arrived. One by one, fleets sent to intercept humans had disappeared. Not a trace remained. Sensors could not detect even fragments. Ships had vanished from reality itself. The council members stared at the data in horror. They erase us, one whispered. They are not attacking, said another, voice shaking. They are teaching us fear. For the first time in galactic history, the council admitted it. Humans were no longer a species to underestimate. Humans were a force beyond prediction. Tilcra's voice lowered, trembling with anger and fear. For centuries we mocked Earth. For centuries we thought humans were weak. And now, they have returned. And we cannot stop them. A murmur ran through the chamber. Even the youngest representatives felt the truth. The galaxy's power structure was changing. Every empire, every fleet, every colony vulnerable. Outside the chamber, stars twinkled as if watching silently. Somewhere, the humans moved between systems unseen, patient, and powerful. Mira Hale did not celebrate. She knew the council would fear her species, but she also knew she did not need to strike yet. Humanity had returned, and that alone was enough to shift the balance of the galaxy. The galaxy will remember us, she whispered to her officers. They mocked Earth for centuries. Now they will see what we have become. Back in the council chamber, one truth settled into every mind. The humans were no longer just a species. They were a force, a warning, and the galaxy had no choice but to fear them. The stars themselves seemed to pause in silent anticipation, as though space itself understood what was coming. Humanity had returned, and the council knew without a doubt. This was only the beginning. The galaxy waited in tense silence. Alien empires huddled in fear. Fleets patrolled every system, sending messages that never returned. Scientists studied the void, but no sensor could detect the humans' movements. Civilization after civilization wondered, where are they? What are they? And then, a single message appeared. It was not sent to one planet, not to one fleet. It reached every corner of the galaxy at once. Every species, every council, every isolated colony received it at the same time. A calm, clear, human voice echoed across space. We are here. Shock spread across the alien empires. They speak to all of us? Asked an officer of the crystal hegemony. Yes, replied her colleague. All sensors are receiving the same signal. It is not localized. The human message continued, simple but deliberate. For centuries you mocked Earth. You destroyed our home. You laughed at our weakness. You believed we were gone. The words resonated like a thunderclap in the silent galaxies. Fear deepened. We were gone, but not enough to forget. We watched. We learned. We adapted. We survived. On the bridge of Admiral Krwitch's flagship, his claws shook. They are alive, after all these years, and they know everything. Across the galaxy, fleets halted. Alien commanders stared at their screens, unsure how to respond. No one could fire, no one could move, no one could challenge this presence. We do not come for war, yet, the message continued. We do not come for revenge yet. A murmur of relief passed through some alien colonies. Perhaps, they thought, maybe humans were reasonable. We have returned to reclaim what was ours, the message finished. Every fleet, every council, every alien mind understood the threat in that single line. Humans did not need to fight. They only needed to exist. Some alien historians whispered among themselves. They speak of reclaiming. But reclaim what? They are few? Or are they? They are not few, replied another. They are patient. They have centuries of experience. They are not the humans we studied. They are something else. Back on the human ship, Mira Hale watched the galaxy through the observation deck. Stars stretched across the void, each one a silent witness. They are afraid, her first officer said. Yes, Mira replied softly. And they should be. Let them see who survived. Let them understand that mocking humanity has consequences. The human message did not stop. Across light years, every empire received the same words, repeated in every language, every dialect, every signal format. It was a statement, a warning, a promise. Alien fleets scrambled. Communications flooded the council chambers. Scientists tried to decipher the signal. Entire star systems trembled. And still, the humans did not fire a single weapon. Yet the galaxy quivered. Some alien leaders proposed surrender. Some proposed hiding. Others debated immediate preemptive strikes. But no plan succeeded. Fleets continued to vanish. Sensors continued to fail. Fear spread faster than light. In the dark corridors of the human ship, golden light pulsed like a heartbeat. Machines hummed in perfect rhythm, powered by centuries of human ingenuity. Mira Hale's hand rested lightly on the main console. We will not destroy them yet, she said. They must remember. They must know what they mocked for centuries. The galaxy listened, and slowly everywhere one thought spread. Humans are not the species we thought we knew. Humans are the reckoning. And then the message repeated once more. We are here. We have returned. And the stars themselves will remember us. The silence that followed was heavier than any war. Even the brightest stars seemed dimmer, as though the universe itself paused in awe and fear. For centuries, the aliens had mocked Earth. For centuries, they had laughed at humans. Now all they could do was listen. Humanity had spoken. And the galaxy understood, finally and completely, the humans had returned. Not as victims, not as weaklings, but as something far greater, something unstoppable. The galaxy held its breath. Every empire, every fleet, every council chamber knew the truth. Humans had returned. Not as the weak, scattered species they had once destroyed. Not as beggars, not as victims. Humans had returned evolved, powerful, and patient. The silent human ship moved from system to system, calm, deliberate, unchallenged. His presence alone reshaped the galaxy. Fleets vanished without a shot. Entire colonies reported strange distortions. Stars dimmed, space warped, time itself seemed to bend around the humans. Mira Hale stood on the bridge, observing the galaxy. Her white eyes reflected the distant stars. Her hand rested on the console, tracing the emblem of Earth. Around her, the crew moved quietly, each aware of their place in this new era. They are afraid, her first officer said softly. Yes, Mira replied, and they should be. Let them feel what we have become. For the first time, alien leaders saw humanity not as a species to underestimate, but as a force beyond comprehension. The Galactic Council met in emergency. Reports flooded in. Entire fleets vanished, colonies went dark, and strange energy signatures pulsed across the stars. Tilkra, the crystalline senator, could not hide his fear. They are not like us. They do not fight like us. They do not think like us. They transcend us. Insectoid commanders whispered among themselves. The humans are rewriting the rules of the galaxy. We cannot predict them. We cannot stop them. Mira Hale did not attack. She did not need to. Humanity's power was clear. The message had been sent. The demonstration had begun. The galaxy understood humans were no longer bound by ordinary technology or fleets. They had become something else. Then, from the observation deck, a soft golden glow spread through the corridors. Machines hummed, systems came alive, and a presence unlike any the galaxy had known radiated from the ship. The humans were silent, yet their power spoke. Every star system in the path of the ship seemed to dim slightly, as if space itself acknowledged the return of its most stubborn inhabitants. And then Mira Hale's voice echoed across the ship, calm, commanding, eternal. We do not come for war. We come to remind the galaxy of what humanity is. We survived. We endured. We evolved. And now, the universe must listen. Across the galaxy, alien fleets reported the impossible. Sensors failed. Engines stalled. Communications went dark. Ships and stations vanished silently. Stars themselves seemed to tremble. The galaxy had never known a power like this. The council watched helplessly as the humans continued their silent journey. No one dared to challenge them. Every empire realized the same truth. Humans were no longer a species to mock, no longer a species to underestimate. And finally, the universe spoke in silence. The stars went quiet. The fleets vanished. The systems held their breath. Humanity had returned. Not to beg. Not to surrender. Not even to conquer, at least not yet. But the galaxy understood one thing with absolute clarity. When humans returned, the stars themselves went silent. For centuries, aliens had mocked Earth. For centuries, they had laughed at the species that had once seemed weak and fragile. Now they feared it. Humanity had become the reckoning. Mira Hale stood on the bridge, looking at the endless void. Around her, the crew of the human ship waited quietly. They did not celebrate. They did not boast. They had returned. And the galaxy would never be the same. The stars went silent. The silence lasted across systems, fleets, and civilizations. It was not empty. It was respect, fear, awe, recognition. Humanity had returned. Stronger, wiser, unstoppable. And the universe listened.